As I'm nearing the end of my journey through the original series of Doctor Who, I thought it was time to show off my collection of DVDs and Blu-Rays. It's been a few years since I last did one of these videos. Since then I have filled in all the gaps from the 1970s and 1980s. There's still a few missing from the 60s. But I'm sure in another 10 years or so I'll start from the beginning again, and by then there'll be more animated reconstructions and Blu-ray collections, so I can complete the set. Until then, let's see what I've got so far. So first of all, we have the beginning box set from 1963, the first appearance of William Hartnell as the first Doctor. This consists of An Unearthly Child, which is not available on iPlayer, so this is the only place you can see it. Then there's the Daleks, which is the first story of the Daleks. And the final two-parter, The Edge of Destruction. The next story we have is The Keys of Marinus. Then the first pure historical story, The Aztecs. And The Censorites. The Reign of Terror. The first story containing 2 missing episodes which have been reconstructed through animation. Planet of Giants there. And The Dalek Invasion of Earth, in which the Doctor's granddaughter Susan left the show. Then we have this box set containing the next 2 stories in the sequence, The Rescue and The Romans. The Rescue introduces the character of Vicky, who is a stage-up replacement for Susan. And then The Romans is a fun historical romp. This is followed by The Web Planet. And then the next box set, The Space Museum and The Chase. The Space Museum there. And The Chase, which is another Dalek story that ends with 2 companions leaving and a new one joining. After this we have the Time Meddler, introducing the Meddling Monk, the first evil Time Lord. Then there's quite a few stories missing from the archives, until we get to the Ark, which some would say would have been better off missing. Then we have this box set, Earth Story, which contains The Gunfighters, a historical story set in the Wild West. After that we have The War Machines, where the Doctor goes back to 1960s London and picks up another few companions. And finally, The 10th Planet, the last story with William Hartnell as the Doctor, and the first to feature the Cybermen. Next we have The Power of the Daleks, the first with Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor, and another one that's been reconstructed through animation. A few stories later we have The Underwater Menace, and The Moon Base, another Cybermen story, The Macra Terror, another animated reconstruction, and The Faceless Ones, again animated. Then we have the Cybermen collection, which includes the next story, The Tomb of the Cybermen, one of the classics. Following that we have the Ice Warriors, and then Fury from the Deep. Then we have the Dominators, the Mind Robber, the Invasion, another Cybermen story, and one of the first ones to have animated episodes. And the final 1960 story, The War Games, which introduces the Time Lords and writes out Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor. Okay, we've reached the 1970s, so I should have every story from here on out. Starting with the third Doctor's first adventure, which comes in this box set, Mannequin Mania. And it is, of course, Spearhead from Space. That's followed by Doctor Who and the Silurians, then the Ambassadors of Death, Inferno, Terror of the Autons, which came in the earlier Mannequin Mania box set, and also introduces the Master and Joe Grant. Then we have the Mind of Evil, the Claws of Axos, Colony in Space, the Daemons, Day of the Daleks. Then we have this Paladin Tales box set, in which you will find the Curse of Paladin. That's followed by the Sea Devils, the Mutants, and then we have this Myths and Legends box set, which includes the Time Monster. That's followed by the Three Doctors, starring all the three Doctors up to that point, and Carnival of Monsters. Next we have the Dalek War box set, which contains the next two stories. Frontier in Space and Planet of the Daleks. Then we have the Green Death, the Time Warrior, which introduces Sarah Jane Smith, as well as the Sontarans. The Unit Files box set, which includes Invasion of the Dinosaurs. Then there's Death to the Daleks, The Monster of Paladin, from the earlier Paladin Tales box set, and the final Jon Pertwee story, Planet of the Spiders. And now we're into the Tom Baker years, with his first story, Robot. Then we have the Ark in Space, the Sontaran Experiment, Genesis of the Daleks, voted #1 Doctor Who story ever. Then we have this box set, which doesn't have its own name, but it does include Revenge of the Cybermen. And that's followed by Terror of the Zygons. Next we have Planet of Evil, Pyramids of Mars, the Android Invasion, the Brain of Morbius, the Seeds of Doom, the Mask of Mandragora, and Sarah Jane Smith's final classic story, The Hand of Fear. Then we have the Deadly Assassin, the Face of Evil, the first story featuring Leela, the Robot of Death, possibly the first DVD I ever bought, the Talons of Wing Chiang. Then we have the Horror of Fang Rock, this Canine Tales box set, which includes The Invisible Enemy, Image of the Fendal, The Sun Makers, Underworld, yeesh, and Leela's final story, The Invasion of Time. Next we have this big box set containing the whole of the Key to Time season. As you can see, it opens up to reveal all of the discs. So we have the Rebus Operation, the Pirate Planet, the Stones of Blood, the Androids of Tara, the Power of Kroll, and the Armageddon Factor, all in one massive box. After this there is Destiny of the Daleks, City of Death, and the Horns of Nimon. But I did buy the Blu-ray collection to fill in the gaps on season 17. This contains Destiny of the Daleks, City of Death, The Creature from the Pit, Nightmare of Eden, The Horns of Nimon, and Shada. That's followed by the Leisure Hive, Meglos, and the E-Space trilogy, which consists of Full Circle, State of Decay, and Warrior's Gate. Finally, we have another trilogy, New Beginnings, which marks the end of the 4th Doctor and the beginning of the 5th. So that consists of the Keeper of Traken, Logopolis, and Castrovalva. And the Peter Davison era continues with Fort of Doomsday. Then we have the Mara Tales box set, which includes Kinder, and that's followed by The Visitation. Then we have Black Orchid, and another Cyberman story, Earthshock. Then we have a box set containing the next 2 stories, Time Flight, and Arc of Infinity. Then the Snake Dance from the earlier Mara Tales box set. And then we have the Black Guardian trilogy, which contains Mordrin Undead, Terminus, and Enlightenment. Then we have another box set, Chameleon Tales, which includes The King's Demons. And that's followed by the 20th anniversary story, The 5 Doctors, which stars 3 of the original Doctors, plus 1 impersonator. Then we have the Beneath the Surface box set, which includes Warriors of the Deep, as well as 2 of the Jon Pertwee Silurian stories. That's followed by The Awakening and Frontios. Then we have Resurrection of the Daleks, Planet of Fire, and the final 5th Doctor story, The Caves of Androzani. Now we come to the 6th Doctor, Colin Baker, with his first story, The Twin Dilemma. That's followed by Attack of the Cybermen, Vengeance on Varos, The 2 Doctors, and Revelation of the Daleks. But of course I filled in those gaps by buying the Season 22 Blu-Ray collection, which contains Attack of the Cybermen, Vengeance on Varos, The Mark of the Rani, The 2 Doctors, Time Lash, and Revelation of the Daleks. Then we have the Trial of a Time Lord box set, which contains The Mysterious Planet, Mind Warp, Terror of the Vervoids, and finally The Ultimate Four, the last Colin Baker story. Then we come to the Sylvester McCoy era. I bought his first season as a Blu-ray collection, which has Time and the Rani, Paradise Towers, Delta and the Bannermen, and Dragonfire. And Dragonfire is also included in this DVD box set, Ace Adventures. And this is the cover of the DVD. That's followed by Remembrance of the Daleks, The Happiness Patrol, Silver Nemesis, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, Battlefield, which is what I'm currently watching now, Ghost Light, The Curse of Fenric, and finally Survival. So that's all my Doctor Who DVDs and Blu-rays from 1963 to 1989. If you want to know what I think of any of those stories, then please go back to this channel and look at my reviews. I'll put a link to the playlist of all of them in the description. And once I'm finished rewatching the final season, I might put out a special video talking about my favourite and least favourite stories from each era of the show. So look out for that in the weeks to come. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.